Hey, you just gonna start talking after I said Mike's side? That's crazy.
I mean, I like to move it, move it, move it.
All right. Well, we are back. We are back. Episode.
You gonna tell me that you ain't about to know the episode again, bro?
Yeah. I had it before last week.
What do you do the night before? Take me into the
I do the
the.
rundown and then I try to fall asleep. That's what I do.
So the one other thing that you want to figure out, you don't figure that out, or that you should figure out, you don't figure that out.
Nah. I'll be coming off the cuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Kicking it, bro.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna start having to hang out with you on the days before we have our show,
That's crazy.
just so I can know what you be doing.
But yeah, we back. Nutty North, presented by Mojo Sports Gear on their network on the Facebook.com.
Were you about to forget what?
Yes, sir. I really was. I had it. I had it. And then it almost fumbled. It almost fumbled. But you know, I forgot to introduce us. I'm Rondell. That's T. How you feeling, T?
Not like you, apparently. One of us went. One of us kicked it last night, and the other one didn't.
Man,
But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. How are you?
man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good to be talking some football again. Since last week we postponed it. It had to fight for the rights, man.
Black Lives Matter.
Black lives. But let's start it off with last week, right? Last week, Mackenzie Alexander was charged with battery. Now, it was because his father. I got this story right here. So it said he learned that his father was missing, and he confronted the man who left his father behind, and then he got charged with battery. But right now, it's saying that he's back with the Bengals. So how you looking at that situation, T?
It's your father. Um, Shout out to him. He left training camp to find some answers, find his father. He did that. You know how the game goes. Sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to get your answers. I don't know what happened. I can't do nothing but speculate from just the reports that came out. But from what I see is basically whatever he did, it worked. Found his
Right.
father. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna always respect because the name of the charge is one thing. I mean, you got charged for battery, whatnot. There's different levels to something. You get charged
Right.
with battery, you beating up on a woman or something. I don't respect that. You know what I mean? Like that's I can't get down with that. You find yourself in a battery situation because you're looking for your father and you found him, and that's what it took. Shout out to him because he got it done. That's what matters. He found his father back healthy. Um, Alive, which when you have, and a lot of times this happens when you see somebody um, come up missing, you kind of speculate and say, well, it might be over. Usually, especially nowadays, you're not going to go missing unless you want to be, missing unless something happens to you. There's so many ways to track you. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's definitely harder to be hiding. So usually when that happens, a lot of times it's the worst case scenario. So you like to see the good situations, even if it took him having to catch a charge to take care of that. And any judge, and again, I don't know the situation. He could have been involved in some riffraff, and he may have been in the wrong with what he did.
I
But
mean, the whole story behind it was that his father and some guy were going to go pick, I want to say apples or grapes or something. They were going to go pick some fruit, and then the guy just left his father behind. So, I mean, I get it. I agree with you. I'm down with that. Like, if my father got left somewhere, especially at an old age, like, I gotta go handle that. You gotta go find your father. And I mean, we did sign him to like a 1 year, $4 million contract. So we was trying to improve our defense, but like if that got him off our team, I mean, I would have respected it because you gotta deal with family first before the money. Yeah?
I'd less respect the Bengals if they did get rid of him for something like that.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
we're known to give second chances. So.
yeah, definitely. I mean, and with this again, I respect it because you had a cause. It
Right.
was what you needed to do, to do. Your father was MIA before you showed up. Then you show up, you got the black and eye, but you got your answer. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going to take that every trip. If nothing else, what's up with the people that are supposed to be looking for his dad? Why did Mackenzie Alexander have to leave camp to come find his dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, why couldn't whoever's supposed to do that job, why couldn't they do a better job to the fact that he has to come in there and do what he needs to do? Again, things will have to play out. And by the fact that he's back with the Bengals, I don't think it'll be a cut situation that has something to do with this.
Right.
Now, if he ends up cut, I think it'll be more so, the game moved on without
Yeah,
you, the
like
time
his
off, it kind of hurts you.
and like he not fitting into the defense
Yeah,
no more. Yeah.
it'll be a playing situation, not what happened type of situation. But at the end of the day, I know Mackenzie Alexander probably wouldn't do it differently either. If I have to find my father, I have to find my father. Especially speaking for black males, the fact that you have a father around in your life, period,
Right.
that means so much more. So I can understand that, you want to take care of him and make sure that nothing happens and something, no matter what, you're the one that's going to find him because it's deeper than that. So again, shout out to him.
Yeah. Shout out to him,
Bloody your
man.
nose, beat an eye out.
Okay,
Get
do
your
what you do
father
to
back.
get your thoughts, man.
Absolutely.
You know. But the bigger news that came out while he was coming back is that Joe Mixon finally got that deal. 4-year contract extension. 4-year contract instant. Nah, I can't even talk. 40 mil. He got 40 mil for 4 years. Extended until the contract he already got.
Start
That's all
to
I'm trying to say.
sound it out.
I can't.
Sound it out, bro. You
I
can
was
do it,
messing up on
man.
I can't even say it right now,
Bro,
man.
I'll never get it,
Huh?
especially with the cutoff being 10 o'clock now. I don't understand it, but here we are. But money, 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 money.
Yeah,
Hey
money.
man, um, as a running back, it's a little tougher because they don't want to pay the running backs, and I get it because they take more wear and tear. I don't want to say you're more replaceable because I don't want to make it seem like somebody like Joe Mixon is easily, replaceable. You can't just easily replace him, but you can get you another running back quicker than you can get you another quarterback, quicker than you probably can get you an elite wide receiver, and you don't necessarily need an elite running back to get the job done. But I think what a lot of these running backs are starting to see now is you want to kind of get yourself in that McCaffrey mode, that Kamara mode, um, to a point where they have to pay you a little bit more because you're much more than just a running back. If you're just a running back, you're getting the handoffs and you're getting your yards that way. We can pay you not bare minimum, but we're not going to necessarily pay you what you bring to the offense. When you can do more, you can get paid a little bit more. And I know Joe Mixon was sitting out because he wasn't getting his money. And I think a guy like him helps everything out. Especially when you have Joe Burrows, you need surrounded him with enough elite weapons. And Joe Mixon is an elite weapon. You need to surround him with that kind of stuff so he can be the best quarterback that he can be. Um, and I think that by being able to pay him, that's going to be able to keep that camaraderie popping.
What just stopped you?
Oh man, that was my end, bro.
Oh, that was your
I
end?
mean, popping. Was I supposed to say something after that? Like,
No, I literally thought you was about to keep going.
how you want me to go on the tangent?
No, I really thought you was about to go on the tangent for a
No,
minute.
I mean it gets it popping. I can go into more detail about it.
No,
I
no.
can add in the fact that it shores up the worry problem that you would have had
Wait,
because
what you mean by the worry problem?
if you got Joe Mixon sitting out, then we have to depend on Gio Bernard, which he has to elevate his level and be a number one running back and
Right.
have to tote the mail, which that's not what he does. So Gio doesn't, you know what I mean? Like basically, Joe Mixon allows the rest of that Bengals offense to be great.
Right.
If you didn't pay him, it's that he's going to come back at some point because they all do. You can look at the Melvin Gordon situation, prime example. Kamara even he had to come back, but it's the time off that everybody else has to move up a spot. It's kind of like the AJ Green situation where you will need your wide receiver to be able to be a number one. Like you need
Right.
AJ Green to be the number one, so Tyler Boyd can be as suitable at his best number two. Tyler Boyd can masquerade as a number one, but it's not the same thing. John Ross will have to move up. Alden Tate will have to move up. It's just it's all bad. If you throw Joe Mixon out there and Gio Bernard can now be that pass catching wide receiver, third down back. I mean not wide receiver, running back, third down back. He can be in his spot. You don't have to depend on a running back by committee situation now because Joe Mixon is going to tote the mail. He's going to do what he needs to do. So it's a trickle down effect by being able to have your guy and not have to worry about bringing your guy in either.
Okay. All right, I'm seeing where you coming at.
Do I hit a bell now? Do I have to ring a buzzer when I'm done?
No, this time
with
I'm
my
paying
point?
attention. I was looking for some other news,
I put a
but
comma after popping.
nah,
Man,
this
make
time
you
I'm,
do
I'm
that.
paying attention. But nah, I get what you're saying. I was looking at all our running backs and everyone that we have, and the only one that I truly know, even though I don't know if we still got him, is what's his Samaj
P. Ron, yeah.
Piran. Yeah,
And he would have to move
yeah,
up.
he would
You
have
know
to
what I'm
move up
saying?
to number
So
2. Gio would have to be number 1.
it's
Which I
just
mean, like I feel like Gio could be dependable, but not like long term. So that would be like another draft wasted on probably like a running back, first round pick.
absolutely. And I like to put it lightly, really, Joe Mixon is like you,
What you mean?
where you're a producer, you do all the
Right.
behind the scenes stuff, you make the ball roll. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
if you're not here, then I have to be there. That means somebody else has to be here. That means
Right.
somebody else may have to be there. It messes up the dynamic. We can still get it done, but
It
it's
won't
not
be
the
the same.
same, dynamic. So it's basically, and shout out to you that I compared you to Joe Mixon.
Oh yeah,
And
you know.
so
I mean, it's my favorite player,
you
so
need to
you
you need
know.
to show up like Mr. Mixon does and put the pressure on you. But still, like it's the
That's
trickle down
wild.
effect. So that's what it boils down to.
That's wild. That means I gotta step my game up.
Yes,
I gotta step it all the way
yes,
up.
absolutely.
All right.
We can't go 2-14 out here, bro.
We going 6-8. That's what we doing right now.
6-8.
We got 2 more games.
Steve, bro.
But yeah, you know, I'm liking the deal. You know, 4 more years of Joe Mixon. That's still what 2024. You know, they're paying him, man, to basically just get the rest out of him. So
What's the chant? 4 more years.
yeah,
4 more years. 4 more years.
that's my president.
That's your president.
Yes, sir.
Mixon for president.
Mixon for president.
Could be no worse. Did I say that out loud? You say it twice.
But next up is John Ross. Now, I think it was like a week or 2 ago he got injured in practice. But I'm looking again and it doesn't seem like that injury really impacted him.
You say John Ross.
Yes, sir. John Ross, the receiver.
He injured.
I mean, like it was
Deja
news
vu.
because now it's like it looks like he's saying that he wants to become the top of the receiver group. So that means over AJ, over Tyler, over Tate, who seems to have taken that 3rd spot from Ross. So, but if he can't stay healthy, I don't know what he's talking about.
You know what I want to be?
What's up?
I want to be the top of the receiver chart too. You can want everything you want. It's about getting the job done. It's about staying healthy. John Ross hasn't been able to do that. How can I depend on you to be the number one if you can't stay healthy? I mean, producer. Like that goes with him too. At the end of the day, John Ross just needs to stay healthy. You can talk all you want to, but I need to see things be done. Everybody put on that. But I can almost guarantee you, if you go to each and every childhood, what I wanted to be, none of them said working at UPS. Nobody said I wanted to be a McDonald's cashier. You probably said something lavish. You probably wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a nurse, a
You gotta
dentist.
come at the hardworking folks of America, man.
Well, I'm just saying, you still don't. You can go ask them hardworking folks, and we are both also hardworking folks. Where I work at is not what I wanted to do.
Right.
It is what it is. But at the same time, to get what I want, for you to get what you want, you have to do certain things, take care of certain things to get there. Same thing I'm saying about John Ross.
Right.
You wanted to be an NFL player when you started. You wanted to be a number one at some point. That's what you get drafted in the top 10 for.
True.
To be somebody's number one. But you have to hold on to the end of your end, and he hasn't done that. And that's all I'm asking you to do is be healthy. Be healthy and stay healthy. I'm not asking you to do anything else.
Like I'm looking at his injury history. He's been injured ever since 2014, and that was back in college.
He's injured today.
Yeah, but in NFL, he's been injured ever since. Every season he's been here since 2017 when he got drafted. That was a shoulder injury. Then he had 2 growing injuries. Then he had like a shoulder joint last year. So it's like I don't know what he's really talking about.
And see, that's my point. Like, he's always hurt. So if that's the case, if you're always hurt, then just shut up and play ball. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I need to see you. Like it to me, especially with the I want to be the number one receiver stuff. That's always lip talk because the number one receiver is the one that consistently gets open.
Right.
I'm sure no quarterback is looking at triple team AJ Green and a wide open John Ross and saying, "Let me throw it to AJ Green." They're going to throw it to John Ross as long as you get open. AJ Green consistently gets open.
Right.
AJ Green is a dude that goes out and proves that he's the number one when he steps on that field. Even when he's hurt, he can take a year off and still come back and be your number one because he's been that great.
Right.
John Ross has not had that type of history. Now, granted, I want to see him be out there and do his thing too. He's a 4-2 dude. You know, you bring that kind of speed out there on the field, it opens up everything for everybody. But shut up about it.
Right. Like Tyler Boyd even said he sympathized with John Ross. He believes John Ross is unguardable, which I mean is true at some points because he's a very good deep threat. Like if he's healthy, he could be Tyreek Hill. Or well, he don't have the hands like Hill, so
You know,
that's
just
really
ain't
the
no
problem.
if.
But Logan Morris, score on there. Mr. Loganity himself has says he loved the deal. Mike Brown has shown he's determined to change the culture size narrative in Cincinnati. And he also said that Ross is a bust. Unfortunately, could he said could he be a threat in the slot? Absolutely, but the reality is he's not going to ever be number two to Green that we always thought he would be.
Shout out to Logue.
Yeah, shout out to
He know what
Logan,
he's
man.
talking about. And it's funny because I can hear that in his voice.
Right,
But I mean, he's right though. Like at the end of the day, you have to prove it now, no matter what. And it's not just proving it to us. It's not just proving it to Bengals fans. It's not just proving it to yourself. You have to prove it to the rest of the NFL. You know, the
right,
NFL can forget about you real quickly. You can be a speed guy. Those guys are a dime a dozen. Now, not everybody has John Ross speed, no. But it's the you're going to be unguardable if you're not on the field. You know, nobody's guarding you anyway. So it's just that's my thing with him. Like at this point, you passed being a rookie. You passed me the second year guy that's trying to elevate to the next.
right.
Now it's time to show up or get on up out of there.
Like
That's
this
what you
your
bring T Higgins
like
in,
this is fourth year. You basically a senior,
pretty
So
much. Like
you gotta stay healthy, and then if you're healthy, you gotta be catching these balls because the number one thing when he's healthy is he's dropping.
yeah,
He's dropping these passes.
it's not gonna get it done. It's kind of like John Ross is at that point of having that X is telling you that they're going to be better this time. Oh, I'm working on me and I'm doing my thing and I'm gonna be the person you've always wanted. And then you get them again. It's like you still the same person. I need to
Exactly.
see different. Otherwise, I won't see you no more. So, for his sake, I hope he gets it done because again, that kind of speed is something that you want to see in the open field. But the
Right.
only way you'll see that is that man playing. But luckily, the Bengals have drafted and put a receiving core together that they don't have to depend on John Ross, and John Ross can kind of find his niche. So we'll see what he does with it.
Okay. All right. Well, we're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we will talk about what the Ravens did about a week or two ago, releasing Earl Thomas.
About a week ago,
I would say free him, but we gonna keep that off air.
free Schmurda. I'll
Okay.
say it. He ain't snitch. He can come out.
Mike's. Nope, I'm not even gonna say it. We back.
I like how you just try to sneak that in there though. Like we back. But I'll be on my A game.
I mean, you don't mean get caught up like Marvell.
No. Marvell just he's slow.
That's a whole nother beast. But yeah, we back on Scoring There Network on Facebook.com. But make sure you check us out at scoreonthare.com where you can catch all our blogs, broadcasts, daily content. Just go to scoreonthare.com. And also, if you saw that commercial, that Kozba, I'm pretty sure I am butchering that name. But the walk, row, run, make sure y'all hit that up. That's a virtual, I think it's 4K or 1K. I know it's on the website, so check that website. Check out that virtual walk, run, roll. But since we are all right, let's just jump into the Earl Thomas. I'm trying to figure something out. Earl Thomas was released last week by the Ravens after having an altercation with Chuck Clark, which is a weird name.
That sounds like one of those default creative player names.
Right?
Like
That's what I thought. I'm
Chuck
like,
Clark.
that man's name cannot be real.
Yeah, to delete it. Like, let me get this dude out of here.
Also, before you go on, it's a 5K. A
5K.
virtual walk, road, run 5K from October 2nd to October 4th.
So you don't have to all do it in one day. You can.
No, I don't think so. You can do it. Let's do the 2nd through the 4th. So make sure y'all check that out.
Always for a good cause. So
Always.
definitely check that out. But first, that's not the first person I wanted to cut him. Miss Thomas wanted to cut him early on in the.
See, I wasn't gonna mention.
Oh
that.
no! We talk about it here. We don't run away from topics over here, buddy.
Also, just to say, man, Coach, come on, bro. We need you back, man. We need you back.
Coach, holla at your boy.
Just so you can be over there in that chair. We can be making fun of Earl
That's
Thomas.
probably why Coach ain't here, because he already knew we gonna have something to say about Earl Thomas, and he's still sick. But I don't get that. You know, he can be a great teammate to his brother, but all of a sudden, now he want to be a bad teammate. Now he want to blow coverages.
Yeah, they said he was coming in late, all that other stuff. It's like, geez, you the vet blowing coverage, coming in late.
Obviously, his mind is on something else.
Obviously,
he ain't doing
that
his
hotel
job.
room full of women.
I mean, come on, man. But yeah, he's jobless now. Still, which is actually a shock to me because I would have thought somebody would have picked him up.
I mean, it seems like the Cowboys, they want him badly, but also Jerry Jones was like, that's a lie. So
the NFL is tough, and Earl Thomas, he's still a great player, still has a name to him, but he's starting to come down a little bit. And I think it's kind of getting to the point where we're not talking about 25-year-old Earl Thomas anymore, where the risk doesn't outweigh the rewards. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew Earl Thomas was going to be able to bring what he needed to bring previously, but as he gets older, he's taking a step back. Less interceptions last year, less splash plays. He showed to be more replaceable than he used to be, and that's exactly what happened. You would have never thought before that they would be debating between Chuck Clark and Earl Thomas. It was always an easy kind of thing, like, oh man, Chuck Clark, 6th-round pick, whatever, he can be cut. It's not the same no more.
Which, I mean, another thing, it seems that Chuck Clark has a way better standing in the locker room than Earl Thomas did.
That goes to speaking to being a good person too. I understand that we live in a world where being a good person doesn't always reap the benefits of it. A lot of times somebody taking advantage of you when you try to be a good person. But it's good to see those small instances where you get rewarded for being a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like the Ravens, they knew, and again, Earl Thomas does this to himself by putting himself in a position where I'm gonna have to decide between you and a teammate because you keep your cool long enough. I seen Earl Thomas. He took the clip that happened, the blown covers, and he shared it out to his Instagram. And he wanted people to see, like, yo, this is what happened. This is what we were doing. Whatever. This is why he got mad. That's a problem for me because you care about public opinion too much. I think that's becoming a thing way, especially with this cancel culture that we live in. It's too many people that play towards the court of public opinion. At the end of the day, your organization matters. How you handle that. You should have been talking to your organization about doing a better job of keeping your cool. Forget the fans. The fans want to see carnage anyway. They want to see you lose your job. They want to see all kind of beef and drama and all that other mess. You don't need none of that. But he bit into it, and again, it became you're more drama than you're worth. It happened in Seattle. It's happening in Baltimore to a point where it's now this is you. You could have looked at it before and said, well, maybe Seattle didn't appreciate you. Maybe they didn't do what they needed to do to keep you happy.
All right.
Now you got to look at him. And I think they found his replacement too, Deshaun Elliott. Bringing him in is, again, we're probably not going to instantly become better because you lose a Earl Thomas, you lose still a great player. But the locker room, the chemistry, to being able to grow, and we have a good enough team to be able to circumvent a loss of Earl Thomas. As a Browns fan, I ain't shedding one tear for it because he's an idiot. Let that happen to him. It is what it is. I ain't mad at it. Let him be what he's gonna be. Unless he ends up being a Cleveland Brown. If he does that,
that was my next question. Why won't a team in the AFC North pick him up?
I'd pick him up, especially if you're the Cleveland Browns, considering Delpit got hurt. Um,
Right.
just you need to add depth to it. But again, I think it's a situation where Cleveland's looking at him and saying, well, we may not have better safeties than Earl Thomas, but we have better behaved safeties.
Right.
We have less of a drama problem. Our locker room dynamic is a big thing. And you've seen this with football time and time again. One person can blow up a whole team. One person can be
Oh, don't I know that? Don't I
man,
know that?
it can be extremely large distraction. So I just think Earl Thomas has to kind of figure himself out and get it together. Otherwise, he's gonna call his brother another one of them little things and get some pressure out of
Come
his
on, bro.
system
Come on,
for being
man.
so angry.
Come on, bro.
Make a
But
play.
yeah, I was definitely thinking, the Bengals could pick him up because we are one for second chances. But I don't know. I think he's too toxic at this point. This is like it's not like Vontez, but it's almost close to it. Whereas like I don't remember Vontez off the field antics and his on the field antics being such a topic that you don't want to touch at times. Like off the field, he was quiet, but on the field, he was the dirtiest player. But that was Marvin Lewis era. Now we got Zach Taylor's era, and I don't know if yeah, we took Mackenzie Alexander back, but that was a noble thing. This right here, don't. This right here is not. It's not a noble thing.
I
So I
just
don't see us picking them up, especially with Trey Wayne's injured. I don't see us picking them up to help this defense at all.
see, and that goes to the toxic thing because the Bengals are a young locker room, so you
Right.
don't want an Earl Thomas there because once the inevitable starts happening, because I don't think Earl Thomas over in Cincinnati helps take them anywhere. I think you're still going to be where you're going to be.
Right.
Um, Once that starts happening,
Wait, hold up. Whoa. You don't think he'll elevate that team?
no,
Give it like a few wins?
no, because I don't think he's a game changer anymore. Like Earl Thomas is
Okay.
still a good player,
But he's
but
not
he
that
used to
game
be a game
changer.
changer. Yeah, he used to be that dude. It's kind of reminiscent of the Ed Reed years before he became washed, before the Houston time, and um, it was he started to slow down a little bit, and he would make a pick. But before it was a pick six. Now this is a pick for a 5 yard gain, and I think that's what Earl Thomas is starting to come to,
Okay.
where he's not a franchise changer, he's not a defense changer, he's more of a I got a good defense. I can help you become great by throwing Earl Thomas out there. That's why Cleveland would be a good thing for him if he could get it together because I think that has the makers of being a good defense, but there's weaknesses there. So I think having a better safety could help out, take that defense from good to great. I think what Earl Thomas is at right now is not the type of player that you can throw in any roster and he just elevates that squad. And I just think that he has to find a perfect fit that it's not just a playing style fit, it's also a locker room fit. And I just think that a young team definitely ain't gonna be the move for him.
Okay. All right. I'm with you on that. But the next thing we're gonna talk about is Damian Willis, which I'm trying to look it up right now.
What you talking about, Willis?
Damian Willis. He was released by the Bengals. Then he was picked up by the Browns, only to be released by the Browns because he failed the physical. So,
You better shape up.
and I know I want to say when I mentioned that, I don't know if we mentioned it on the show. You was like it add depth or something, but I don't know. I don't know. So what you thinking on this?
um, Especially now,
Right.
you have to be in shape. You have to be ready at the drop of a dime. You cannot come into anything not together because this thing is going. Um, you'll be cut quickly because there's always going to have more. There's more job openings than normal because of COVID. The fact of the matter is, a lot of players aren't. You're not trying to bounce from training camp to training camp either. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think just judging by the way that you look at the waiver wire, it's not a lot of big cuts here. You know what I'm saying? I think they're all going to do it at one time for real. So we're going to see the most out of you that we can get, but we're not going to waste time on somebody who's easily cuttable. If you're Jarvis Landry, you might hang around a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let that linger a little bit because we need you to, be together. You're not so easily cuttable. Damian Willis, you come into camp not in shape, you got to go.
Right.
Just put it into
Especially
somebody else.
especially knowing a year like this, and then we're so close to the start of the season. So it's like you gotta be in shape. But speaking of cuts, it seems the Browns they're starting to release players. They just released four people. They released J.T. Hassel, Donnie Lewis Jr., Jamon Moore, and Ricky Walker.
None of
And
them were making the roster anyway.
and it seems the Bengals released O'Shea Douglas and Bryce Sturks.
I almost thought you were about to say O'Shea Jackson for a minute.
Nah.
I was about to say, thank you.
Nah.
Everywhere.
But I'm still looking up to see what the Ravens and the Steelers have done.
But this, I would say at this point, and again, I mean, we're at the stage where slight cuts are be made, but that's opening up spots for somebody. Like I'm pretty sure
Right.
you'll look up later on. It's like the Browns brought in a couple receivers or something, or a couple linebackers to try out, or whatever. It's about the bottom of that roster moving around, and then these players also have an opportunity to go to another training camp for these last few days.
Right.
Because I mean, usually in any other year, these are preseason games that we've watched and we know what these players are doing. Players are getting cut after that, whatever, blah blah. Skip. Now it's moving a little different because there isn't no preseason. So with these players that's being cut now, I think these coaches are saying, well, we know what we have with these guys. We have a couple more weeks. Let's see a couple other dudes that may have a shot at making the roster. But usually at this time, most of these guys are camp bodies anyway. I don't know how important training camp tape is, the footage will be, but I think it's just more so of that. Like, let's get you in the camp, let's see what you got. If you're not good enough, we cut you with a little bit of time left so you can see if you can latch on to somewhere else. We can see, run the business. We can do what we need to do. But it's not, none of those names are shocking to me because none of
Right.
those names I looked at the end of the projection and seen them be here. So,
Yeah. Well, it seemed I couldn't find anything on the Steelers, but the Ravens have waived John Daka. He's an outside linebacker. Michael Darius. He's a receiver. Sean Pollard, center, and they placed DeAndre White on IR. Yeah.
some more housekeeping.
And more housekeeping, just. But it also seems that uh, Miles Garrett is having an injury. There, he had an injury, and the Browns are treating that with caution.
Yeah, because you're paying him $100 million.
Right? Because then he just get a big old check.
Yep. I'll wrap him up in bubble wrap until the season starts.
Yes, sir.
You've seen what happened when you don't have Miles Garrett on your team. So, yeah,
Right.
anything minor, I'm definitely taking care of that one.
All right. Okay. Well, we're gonna have a real quick break. Then we're gonna come back again and talk a little bit more. But we're looking at a short show today, folks.
We ain't got to tell them all that. They
Man,
all
they
up in
just
the
gotta
mix.
know, bro. They gotta know.
Man. You just tell
Look,
them everything.
let me produce. You said producer. Let me produce.
Go ahead, cut this camera off. They don't need to see.
We are back. How you feeling, T? Ready to end it?
Yeah, man. Living the dream, though. Still talking football. As long as this is what I'm doing, I'm cool.
All right, so it seems the analysts are not too high on the Joe Burrow-led Bengals in the tough AFC North, but I mean that's to be expected. He's a rookie coming in. He has a second-year head coach who's really had 1 year experience of calling plays. So I mean, it's really to be expected. If they go well, it seems they have Sports Illustrated has Cincinnati finishing 2-14, which was last year's record. So they don't think that highly on us. You got the Steelers going 13-3, the Ravens going 12-4, and the Browns going 9-7. So I'm guessing they a little biased on the Steelers because I don't see them going 13-3 at all.
No. This was 2007, but I've never been big on the preseason projections, especially with a young team. Now, granted, I don't think the Bengals are going far either. I wouldn't necessarily say they'd be 2-14. I've long said 4-12, maybe 5-11, or somewhere around that area. I mean,
me too. Like I say, at highest we go 8-8. But
yeah, that's the best case scenario.
Yeah, best case, but definitely lower.
But it's always hard to tell because you don't know the youth. Like, how is that going to show up? Jonah Williams may come in and be a day one, bookend left tackle that may shore up that whole entire line. We don't know that. Joe Burrows can come out here and look like Joe Montana. We don't know that. Him and AJ Green can be kind of similar to Matt Ryan and Julio Jones when Matt Ryan first came. I remember
Right.
that year nobody thought that Falcons team was going anywhere, and
Yeah.
that Falcons team won the division. Again, not saying that this is going to happen with the Bengals, but
You just
that's
never know.
yeah, that's why I don't like preseason projections because a lot of that's just lazy. I'm pretty sure that they looked at the team, looked at the roster, and said, "Oh well, they didn't really do much in free agency," which is a lie. They did. Um, they really didn't. I don't love their draft, whatever, whatever. They'll probably be 2 and 14. Well, if you think of natural progression, one, you should do a little bit better as far as maybe a game or two. If you add in AJ Green coming back, you should also add maybe a game or two, so that it's going to be some type of improvement. At least I
Right.
think. But I don't really put a lot of stock in that because a lot of these riders, especially with places like that, I don't think that they're really super. Not to take nothing away from 'em, just with my own analytic eye, I don't think they're really digging deep into the teams that they're covering. They're just spitballing. And I mean, it is what it is. They can think what they think, but at the end of the day, the game still have to be played. Upsets happen all the time, especially in football. Um, Talent's gonna win out a lot of times too. Um, Situations we don't know with COVID. Who's to say that the Bengals don't become the least affected by the COVID? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they may have a good run where three or 4 weeks somebody is out because of something like that. They can take advantage of it. We just don't know. Um, and again, I try to stay away from projections because I like to see what happens. Um, I don't like to watch the end of the movie and then go back and watch the beginning of it. Nah, let me watch it all the way through and see what transpires. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's talk about these two Browns. And well, first we're gonna talk about how Denzel Ward has said he looking at the rookie AJ Green, not the Bengals AJ Green, but the Browns, and he's saying that this cornerback has caught his eye. So what you thinking on that? Is this another like fluff piece coming out of training camp, or is actual legit coming from a star like Denzel Ward?
I think any other time you would look at it and say, he's just hyping one of his guys. He likes somebody. He's giving him a little love, whatever, whatever. But I think this year with the injuries piling up, especially in the defensive backfield, like that AJ Green conversation is more of a conversation. I think it's more of a um, if you can come in here and play because we need Greedy Williams is out. You know what I'm saying at this point. So Denzel Ward,
Well, he's out for like the whole season.
no, he's just out at the beginning of this area.
Okay.
So you need to see another corner step up. And if AJ Green can come in and give you a little bit of help, and there's every year there's going to be some undrafted player making the team. Every year there's going to be somebody that you weren't thinking about that cards on a roll or whatnot. And I think that if AJ Green can help, the opportunity is there. Sometimes that's all you need. The depth chart before that may have not given him the shot, but I think with the injuries and that situation, like it's kind of the next man up thing. And if Denzel Ward is watching and paying attention, not to say that he's the best talent evaluator, we don't know that, but he is also out there with him. So I mean, if he thinks he's doing a good job, then maybe he is, and we'll know once the rosters are set if AJ Green did that good of a job. So we'll see, but it's encouraging to see some type of progress coming out that training camp. And again, we just know what little bit we hear because we can't see a lot. There's no preseason games. It's a different league. It's a different situation, but it's gonna be interesting because we don't know. So just to see what transpires after that, we'll see.
All right. Well, this next, well, he's an ex Brown, but he was how long was Josh Gordon a Brown? You know,
Technically, probably like 4 or 5 years, somewhere around there.
all right.
But
But it
we all
seems,
know he
yeah,
didn't,
we all know his
he
problems.
didn't play that many.
Yeah, but it seems Seattle re-signed him for I don't know how long, but it seems it's over 1 million on the deal. Well, after he is reinstated by the NFL, but it seems like Seattle wants to re-sign him. But I want to get your opinions on that, seeing as he was around for some years.
As a Brown fan, obviously you wanted him to be a Brown and do what he. We gave him a lot of a leash over there, and he burned us a lot, but at the end of the day, like I understand that he was battling addiction. I understand that he was battling mental problems, stuff like that. Like all of it was coming out, and I'm personally not one of those people that want to harp on somebody's
Success.
misfortunes. No, no,
Oh,
no, they're misfortunes. Um, I'm obviously I wanted him to do well for our team, but I'm not going to hate him because he's on somebody else's squad. The fact of the matter is, I hope he can stay clean, keep it together. I was never a big fan of him getting knocked for the herbal treats that he was getting involved in. I long thought the NFL was a little behind on the way that they treat
right.
these herbal supplements.
I mean, didn't they update it?
Yeah, they did now. That's why Josh Gordon is able to be reinstated. Like,
Okay,
if
all
they
right.
never did nothing with the herbal situation,
You
then
gotta stop saying herbal
I
like that.
mean, the herbal. uh, Herbs and spices. But they never did anything about that. Josh Gordon probably would be still sitting it down. I know he has some instances where he has some nose candy or something like that. But it was more so if he can stay away from the hard stuff, then he can be on the straight and narrow. He's going to pay for it with the money because nobody's going to want to give Josh Gordon the money that he deserves.
All right.
Because I mean, you can't trust him. You can't depend on him to stay healthy mentally and physically. But I think that if any spot is a good spot for him, Seattle's a great spot for him because they have the leadership that kind of keep him together. They have a support group, and that was the last place that he was successful at. Now I know he ended up being caught up for the situations while he was at Seattle, but still that was more so like his past. He wasn't able to shake it yet, and they still didn't at that time. They didn't evolve with the herbal situation yet. Now that they have, I think he has more of a leash to be successful, and maybe he makes some of that money up. Hopefully things can change for him because he's an absolute talented player. I mean, take everything else out of the equation, like that man's a man. So the NFL is always going to be better when you can see him out there, but they can also turn you into Justin Blackman real quick. So it's on Josh Gordon to get it together. Other than that, he gonna have to find him another occupation.
Okay, all right.
But I'll root for him.
All right. Well, before we end the show, you got some comments you wanted to read?
Oh yeah. What is it? Aaron Boogie Moore. He had said that he thinks that Earl Thomas should go to Dallas. That'd be a good spot for him. Just, I mean, they need some splash out there in the defensive backfield. So
All right.
I ain't mad at him. And he also called your boy what do you say? He called him mustard eyes Vontae.
Mustard eyes,
Mustard
Vance.
eyes Vontae is he seems to think Vontae is what do you say he look like? He walks around and skirts people in the eye with mustard.
What? Okay.
He's not a Vontae's Burfict fan.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah, man. Shout out to Boogie Moore.
Yeah,
Appreciate the
man.
love.
Shout out to you, man.
I think that's our fan. Got a fan. Mm.
Man, got one.
Yeah, buddy.
I collect some more, man. But we ended the show now. So, any last thoughts?
Check us out next week. We're getting close to actual football. We will have more in-depth conversations. Right now, we're just going through the training camp motions and giving you whatever we know. We do a good job of trying to find information to share and talk about, but it is hard at this moment. But it's hard for everything and everybody. So at the end of the day, we're getting close to football. We got some high school football happening, right? Actually, on here on the Score on Their network. Make sure you
Yeah.
check us out with that. We
Check out
do
that Friday night final.
absolutely. We got the Ohio Bias show on
That's
Fridays.
tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. So we keep it busy. We keep doing what we're doing, but I just think that obviously high school always starts it. Once you start seeing the grass being cut and the footballs being kicked off, and the inevitable thunderstorm that we had the first week of our high school football. But
Glad I wasn't out there.
yeah, see, but lucky man. But high school football, then you get some college football. Now you get the NFL. We had a little sprinkle of college, all the stuff notwithstanding. But we're getting back to it. You know what I'm saying? So not next week, but the week after that, we'll actually have some AFC North football, some hitting, some scoring, some hopefully a Browns win. All that's gonna be coming up here shortly,
They
and
losing.
we out here.
Yeah, we out here.
Gotta
You
hit
know.
the table for instance. We out here.
Well, make sure you check us out. You can check me out Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty sure I said it on the show. I don't feel like saying it again.
I answer DMs right there at T Nesbitt on Facebook.
Answer DM.
I interact out here. I'm not on the celebrity stuff that Ron Dale's on.
I mean, you could DM me.
I'm still a person of the people. You know what I mean?
I'll eventually get back to you.
But T Nesbitt on Facebook. Instagram is T Nesbitt 85 on there, and my snappity is TNES 614. Not really on that a lot, but outside of that, hey, contact your brother. We out here. Check out the Nutty North page. Check us out on Open Gym on Wednesdays, 12 o'clock. Check everything out. I don't care what it is, from the Big League Show to Loganity to 90 minutes plus extra time. Check out the whole Score There network. Share, like, support, show love. This your city, this your town, this is your sports show. We do this for y'all. Holla at us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll see y'all next time.